Betsy Ross, the first American lie. Did Betsy Ross really sew the flag? In the quiet parlor of a Philadelphia upholsterer, a legendary meeting took place. General George Washington himself, presenting a rough sketch of a nation's emblem. A woman, Betsy Ross, a simple seamstress, took the sketch and with one swift snip of her scissors created the five-pointed star and forged the first American flag. We all learned this story in school. But what if this cornerstone of American identity is completely false? What if the woman we credit with designing the stars and stripes never actually did? This is Betsy Ross. Myth or real? Revolutionary Philadelphia. To understand the myth, we must first meet the real Betsy Ross. Born Elizabeth Griscom, she was a fierce, independent woman living in revolutionary Philadelphia. She was an upholsterer, a skilled trade that put her in contact with some of the city's elite. She was a real patriot, making uniforms, tents, and ship's flags for the Pennsylvania Navy. We have receipts and records that prove her work during the war. But the simple fact is this: while Betsy Ross was a genuine hero of the Revolution and a documented flag maker, she never claimed to have made the first American flag while she was alive. She died in 1836, an admired but not famous woman. The legend that cemented her in history as the creator of the Stars and Stripes wouldn't surface for another 34 years. The myth is built, the grandson's story. The man responsible for the legend was her grandson, William J. Canby. In 1870, Canby presented a paper to the Historical Society of Pennsylvania. He claimed that, as a young boy, his grandmother had told him a secret. In 1776, she had met with George Washington, Robert Morris, and George Ross, her late husband's uncle, at her shop. According to Canby's tale, Washington presented the design, and Betsy suggested the crucial change, turning the stars from 6 points to the now iconic 5 points, showing them how to cut the shape with a single fold of cloth. This story was compelling, patriotic, and immediately picked up by newspapers. It was published at the perfect time. America was preparing for its centennial celebration in 1876 and was desperately seeking heroic, unifying origin stories. More importantly, it provided a much-needed female hero for the revolution. The story gave women a place at the founding table, but Canby offered zero contemporary evidence, no letters, no receipts, no congressional records. The conflict, lack of evidence. Historians quickly raised doubts that remain today. First, there is no official documentation that a congressional flag committee ever existed in 1776, as Canby claimed. Second, if Washington had visited her, a meeting of such historic significance would surely have been mentioned in his extensive private journals or correspondence. It was not. And finally, the first official flag act was passed by Congress in 1777, nearly a year after Betsy's supposed meeting. The myth solidified in 1893 when artist Charles Weisgerber painted The Birth of Our Nation's Flag. This painting, depicting Ross sewing the flag with Washington and the committee looking on, was displayed at the World's Columbian Exposition and was reproduced by the millions. Art and patriotism transformed family folklore into accepted historical fact. The great revelation: who really designed it? So if Betsy Ross didn't design the flag, who did? The strongest historical evidence points to Francis Hopkinson. Hopkinson was a delegate from New Jersey to the Continental Congress and a signer of the Declaration of Independence. In 1780, he sent a bill to the Continental Board of Admiralty requesting compensation for designing the flag of the United States of America. Hopkinson didn't ask for money. He requested a quarter cask of the public wine. While Congress ultimately refused to pay him, the records confirm he was formally credited with the design. Why was he denied payment? because Congress stated that Hopkinson was not the only one consulted. This suggests the flag was the product of collaborative evolution, common for military standards, rather than a single artistic creation in a cozy parlor. The truth is that the flag was military equipment created by committee, likely designed by Francis Hopkinson and sewn by one of at least 17 different Philadelphia upholsterers, including Betsy Ross. The story of Betsy Ross is therefore a myth, but it is a necessary, beautiful, and deeply American myth. The real story reveals that the myth was deliberately created during a period of national upheaval to provide unity and a powerful female symbol. The truth is often more complex, more collaborative, and frankly, less romantic than the folklore. But the fact remains, Betsy Ross was a real patriot who made real flags for a real cause. The story of her life, a hard-working, resilient woman navigating war and business, is its own true, powerful American tale, even if the famous flag meeting never happened. So the next time you see the flag, remember the myth of the single seamstress and the reality of Francis Hopkinson and the anonymous workers who truly built the nation. If you enjoyed separating the myth from the real, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell me in the comments, what other foundational American myth needs to be exposed?